What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome to the next game review that I have waited to put up until this year because I wanted it to linger a bit on Patreon. I wanted my reviews to just settle there for a little bit before I put them up onto YouTube because I'm thinking of just making it so that the reviews stay on Patreon for like a full week or two before I put them onto YouTube. So if you guys have not checked out my article review, it is down in the description below for your viewing pleasure of where I review the DLCs from Little Nightmares. Remembering can be a cruel thing. Understanding pain, moments of relief, joy, all ball up into a moment of a sigh. And this is how I felt playing the Little Nightmares DLC. Experiencing other viewpoints of the game, I admire how deep and cohesively well brought about it was, and the storyline is just a miasma of different points and sections and everything that all meld together. At times I wanted to cry, at times I wanted to scream. When writing something so different and unique, one has to separate themselves. One has to completely separate themselves. In doing so, immersing themselves in another world. This is what the writer of Little Nightmares, the story, accomplished. So let's get into the first DLC that came out, The Depths. First DLC that we take part as the runaway kid, which is what the fans named him. I kind of like that name. Very rogue, very metal. Similarly to the first installment of Little Nightmares, we have to run away from creatures, solve different puzzles, and understand the meaning of the maw. We leap, we jump, we cross very watery terrain, and this DLC is basically like the appetizer as far as progression goes, okay? This is the salad. This DLC is basically like a breadstick in comparison to the other two DLCs. You thought it was challenging climbing over a dresser onto a TV and then electrocuting a monster? Honey, you haven't seen anything yet. This sea creature is an older lady that grabs you by the feet and digs you and drags you into the watery depths of down below, which is why it's called The Depths. Whether it's just because she doesn't want to be alone or she hasn't eaten yet, we'll never know. As you progress through the DLC, you're met with a lot of jumping, a lot of maneuvering your way around things to get to your main objective. The mechanics, the way you play the game are exactly the same as the main game of Little Nightmares, but the continuation of our adventurer's story gets darker and is quite possibly a harder pill to swallow. The next DLC that we have is The Hideaway. Okay, this DLC tug on my heartstrings. Once we get into the second DLC, we experience more of the behind the scenes, if you will, of this game, and the plot thickens. The plot thickens as the runaway kid runs into more of characters from Six's environment, especially our skittish little friends, the gnomes. The gnomes help the runaway kid in tasks that he can't accomplish on his own, and the puzzles for this game, this entire DLC, would be entirely impossible without the gnomes' help. I really appreciate the difficulty level of the puzzles. You know, it's games like this that really remind you how just incredibly smart and cunning a lot of developers really are. Especially for something that's not a main game series. These are DLCs. These are 3 separate DLCs that are attached to one main game, and I feel like for DLCs they really made it actually a lot more difficult than the main game, which I really appreciate. In this DLC, the main event was all the gnomes, seeing all of them as a main character instead of, you know, side dishes. And I don't know why I'm comparing this entire game to an entree, but it is a feast. Now in the last DLC, The Residents, this is where shit goes down. Puzzles, man. There's a lot of puzzles. These are some of the most intense ones that I've seen since Resident Evil 1 Remake. The way that they're constructed, it took me a minute to really figure them out, actually. Which is great. I love the complexity of a lot of them. The fact that they are complex in nature is what really made me thoroughly enjoy this DLC set. In the last DLC, we see more of the character of the lady and who she really is. We finally see behind the mask and of her facade, if you will. And we find out, come to realize that she's just as morbid as all of the passengers on board. She's just as gluttonous looking as the rest of them. Now, the lady will unfortunately capture the runaway kid and turn him into a gnome. This gnome, the runaway kid, is the one that Six gobbles up. So I'm still shook by that. I'm still shook at the fact that the runaway kid, everything is just linked together. I mean, I did not know that Six was gonna be a cannibal, our beloved Six, a cannibal? Like, really? Did you not know that you were eating a child, good sir? Just to see this entire DLC, how the mechanics are done, how the setting is composed, and how the flow of each line of thought is translated to the player is done rather effortlessly. This DLC is spooky, it's palm sweat inducing, and it's something that it's a type of setting I haven't experienced in a while in regards to a video game, and Brava. Now, here are my final thoughts. These 3 DLCs had me go through a roller coaster of emotions, and I never played a game that made me feel happy, sad, upset, just all in this short span of time, besides Red Dead Redemption 2. That had me feeling a kind of way throughout the entire game. But it made me feel, this game in particular, made me feel that there's so much hope in more difficult games to come. Just reaching their peak with everything. Because of the technology that's coming out, because of everything that's now readily available, there is a lot more that devs can do in as far as, complex games go, really. For this game, it has major replayability for me. I mean, even though the puzzles were difficult, even though there were a lot of things that you had to really figure your way around, it definitely, like, for me, I would play it all over again. All these characters, they were promised safety. They were given a home with candy-coated lies. When they tried to escape, their individuality was taken away, becoming a little lost soul. But that was today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys check out my full article, which is down in the description below for your viewing pleasure. I really enjoyed playing this game. Part of me is sad that I couldn't play it on YouTube, but then again, I am kind of happy that I didn't play it on YouTube with the amount of times I died. But yeah, if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below, because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and double uploads on Friday at 7 a.m. EST. But stay casually nerdy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. 아침을 깨우는 네 목소리 머리를 빗는 네 빗소리 밖엔 비가 오나 봐 들리는 빗방울들이 땅에 떨어지는 소리 전해지는